Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and thanks for stopping by again. This is number 5 in a series on real estate. It's the final one in this particular series. I will be referring to that sector from time to time in the future, but this is really meant to briefly sum up what has already been said and keep it as much to the point as possible, so not so many statistics today. Simply put, the macro sector, the large-scale sector of the economy, is doing very well here in Panama. The canal is doing superbly, and a number of other major projects are coming along very well. That's not the problem. What we've had a problem with in the last couple of years, and which affects you, is in what I would call the microeconomy, so to speak. They're in a couple sectors particularly of interest to us. One of those is the hospitality sector. Those are the hotels, restaurants, casinos, bars, whatever, that you visit when you come down to Panama. The business has been very slow there, and as a result, you can get some very inexpensive hotel rooms here in Panama City compared to what you used to have to pay and what you'll have to pay in the future when the economy turns. Now, the second sector is the real estate sector, and it's not just the real estate agents and agencies or the developers that I'm talking about here. It's the construction workers. We have a substantial decline in the number of active construction workers because the business has been very slow. Now, I've gone through the reasons why business has been slow in real estate elsewhere, but it boils down to a couple of things. And one is that the developers overdeveloped certain areas and way overpriced them. And they just kept building on top of what they'd already been building, and they kept bidding up the price of land. The whole thing got out of hand. And that's hurt pretty severely. And the second is because in both sectors here, the impact has been negative from the failure to complete on schedule 2 major projects that will affect the number of people coming into town very seriously. Has affected it, will continue to until we get it settled. And one of those is the convention center, which will be done here in the next few months. You might wonder why a convention center. Well, the one we have just handles a few thousand people. This will handle 3 to 4 times as many. It will make us competitive with major convention cities elsewhere. And here, tens of thousands of people will be coming, up to 25,000 or so that we can handle in a single convention, whose bills are being paid by somebody else, who will come here to have a really good time, and who will be introduced to the country. These are really important people, not only because some of them do end up looking to invest or to live here, but also because they're walking, breathing, talking advertisements for Panama when they go back home. Not having many of them, and we've been having such a delay on the convention center, has truly hurt that particular type of advertising, which in truth is far more effective than all the television ads you can think of. So that's been one thing that has really been a frustration. And the second thing is the opening of the second terminal at the Tokomon International Airport here in Panama City. That's really important as well. We have new destinations we want to open. We have a lot of new flights we want to get started, but we're pretty much maxed out at the moment. And we won't be able to entertain the additional flights and destinations and carriers until such time as we get that done. It will be done in the next few months. So there's a whole variety of reasons why they were delayed, 2, 3, 4 years delayed. But everybody knows this is a problem here. It's not a secret. And they are working on getting both of these things out of the way by working 3 shifts a day. That's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're going to get them done. They darn well better get them done because we all want that. In the meantime, however, both of the sectors, hospitality and real estate, have had to let a lot of people go as employees, or they simply haven't had jobs for them as with the construction people. And it hasn't meant that we've had horrible poverty or anything of the sort here. We have ways of dealing with all of this. But the simple fact of the matter is that people have gone very, very conservative here in Panama about how they spend. This country is very conservative in spending. The dislike for debt is very powerful among people here. more so than you might imagine. And so they pull back when things are slow and when people are losing jobs. And because of a very tight family system here, people in their family may lose a job or something. This sort of news gets around very quickly. We all watch the same television news. We all listen to the same radio stations. We go to the same internet sites. We read the same newspapers and so forth. This is really a large village in many respects. So what's known in the city is known in the rural areas very soon thereafter. As a group, therefore, when things are negative, as has been true in the last couple of years, because of these slowdowns, that spreads like wildfire, through their family conversations here, as families are a very strong family system, and they meet constantly, and they don't have reunions so much as they just get together a great deal. This has had a negative impact, and we can see it in the statistics that the fundamental economy is fine, but they have pulled back from a lot of things that they now think in their minds it's wiser to wait and see what happens. When that occurs, they're right. I mean, they're actually doing the right thing from their perspective. Unfortunately, by failing to buy a lot of things, by reducing their expenditures and reducing their debt, they also reduce the amount of business they're doing, and businesses suffer as a result of that, and more people get laid off and so forth. So you get to a point where that has to hit bottom in our case, because growth otherwise has done very well. Our bottom is above many of the high points in a number of other Latin American countries, and indeed some others even in Europe. So as a result, it's not as bad. But when you're living here, it seems, of course, you're just concerned about your own situation. So this has had a negative impact, and along with the decision of the real estate industry to overprice their properties. All of this is in the process of sorting out. The result, in a nutshell, is there are a number of properties for sale and for rent, much more inexpensively, much less expensively than was true even a couple of years ago. Prices have fallen and rentals have fallen. It's not some terrible, tragic collapse. This is not how things work out here. It really is a different market. But they have fallen, and I think they pretty much flattened out. I don't expect them to fall much more. We all understand that the turnaround is going to come. These projects will get done. A lot of planning has gone into that. Most of the international financial people are not least bit concerned about it, since they see this going too. You may not be familiar with all the details. We are. So I see this, and I think, okay, this is an exceptional period. You can rent less expensively here, and I just did it, as people who follow this channel know. I just changed my addresses, and I've got a very nice place for considerably less per month than I had been paying. So it's doable from the rent side. It's doable from the sales side. You just need to be able to find your way around it and know what you're looking at, and so forth. So that's been the basic thrust of what I've been talking about. In response to that, as I've said elsewhere also here at the YouTube channel, those are people I work with here. We are not a real estate agency, and I am not a real estate agent, so we're not working on commissions or whatever. But the simple fact of the matter is that we can help, and we can put you together with people who can help you get through the maze of trying to find a home to buy or to rent. For sales, we pair you with an agent I've known for years and I trust thoroughly. He does good work, and most importantly, he has no conflict of interest here because he really doesn't do much of this sort of agent work. He is a developer, and they actually have developments that they sell. But he's not selling his own when he works with us because his developments are outside the area that we cover. And that was purposeful. That's one reason I like him working with us, because he doesn't have his own property to sell. And that makes it a lot better. In addition, I certainly know some rental agents who are smart, sharp people who can get out there, and once they figure out what you really want, and once you figure out what you really want and what's available, they can put it together pretty well. So I make the service available. I say if you're serious about it, we're not in the tour service. We're not interested, and we can't do this to the agents, just to wander around and show people properties when they have no intention of either renting or buying. But if you do have at least that serious intent, you've made up your mind, you want to live here, you're looking for a place to rent or buy, obviously you cannot commit to doing either before you get here. But if you have that commitment to Panama, that you intend to live here, and this is what you're looking for, then we can work with you and we can help you. It's been tested. It works out very well. I don't advertise it a lot. In fact, it's been around here for a few months. If I was trying to make money on something, you'd be seeing videos every single week, getting newsletters in the mail constantly with lots of exclamation points and capital letters and everything else, and seeing lots of advertising. None of that's happening. This is meant to be a help to my friends, and my friends are the people who come here, subscribe, who are regulars here at the YouTube channel, and who have signed up at the Retirement Wave website, where I trust a new newsletter will eventually actually come out again as we get that reorganized. These are the folks I've been trying to help for 14 years, and thousands of them as they've come through. I am not here to make money off this, but I am here to help. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. If you're not, it's okay too, because there's so many agents here. You aren't going to have any trouble to finding somebody who's willing to sell your properties. So don't worry about it. I'm not going. My feelings won't be hurt if you go to somebody else. We're just here to help those who need it. And if you need any of that assistance, the simplest thing to do is you can leave a message right here at the site, because I curate, or that is, I read all messages before they go public. And if someone writes me and says, please send me some information at this email address and so forth, I would do that, but it would never show in public. So every single comment here is it's either approved or not approved. If it's politics or it's anger or it just has nothing to do with Panama, then it doesn't show up. And if it's somebody's private information, it absolutely never shows up publicly. So you can do that. Or you can go to the retirementwave.com website and leave a message there. Or you can write me at radams, R-A-D-A-M-S, at retirementwave.com. So let me know if we can be of assistance. In any case, I hope that those of you who are in a position to do so can, over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, who knows how long it will go on. I don't expect it's going to last for a long time, but it will last for a while, this period of good times for buying and renting. And I just hope that you need to be aware of it, so that if it's important to you, you can take advantage of it. That's the whole purpose of this, and that's all. Sometime next year, when these things get underway, the attitude will change, as it has in the past, and things will move in the other direction. It's just the way it has been, and well, it looks like it's going to continue to be here in Panama. So thanks for stopping by. I hope some of this has been helpful. The next stage is to talk more about the city, because I've been promising to do that, because so little has been done to introduce the city to people. It's sad, really, how much is written about the country and how little about the city that has gone through dramatic changes over the last decade. But more about that in times to come. For the meantime, thanks again so much for dropping by, and I look forward to seeing you again.